Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto had Hinata on Team 7 instead of Sakura? Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Was a dark night, but Kakashi was still at work. He was pondering over his new genin team. Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno. He mused out the names, thinking back to what he saw from his little trips to the academy. Naruto seemed to be a very energetic being, always a ball of energy bouncing around. Sasuke was, of course, stoic and brooding, quite antisocial to say the least. A little bit like himself when he was younger, Kakashi realized, slightly amused. And Sakura, she was every aspect of a preteen, so of course she was more interested in boys, mainly Sasuke, and her looks more so than training and getting stronger. The third Hokage gave them these sets of genin, but these were just suggestions. The real time to choose teams was tonight, but just as he got ready to leave, a file caught his eye. I wonder. Hinata Hyuga, dash 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 dash. Kakashi was of course late to the meeting. Frankly, everybody expected it. Hell, they'd be more surprised if Kakashi arrived on time. What did surprise them, however, was that Kakashi had a request. Now, everybody knew of Kakashi's notorious history of never failing to fail his students, so of course they started when he requested a genin to be put on his team. That's right, he repeated for what seemed to be the 10th time. I want Hinata Hyuga to be on my team. He frankly didn't understand what was so difficult to, well, understand. No way, Kurenai Yuahi butted in. She actually was very excited to have Hinata Hyuga on her team, as she was quite the feminist and thought that the young Hyuga heiress could turn into a fine kunoichi. As a fairly new jonin, Kurenai would be proud to be the one who taught her. I get her. She wrinkled her nose at Kakashi judgmentally. Besides, don't you think it wouldn't work for her to be on the front lines? My team, Reconnaissance, is perfect for her abilities. Well, Kakashi spoke in that infuriatingly calm voice. Maybe so, but there is the case of too much of a good thing. Your team might encounter some traps. He flicked out a file. And that's why I think Sakura Haruno is best for your team, Kurenai, because not only is she very intelligent book-wise, she has an aptitude for genjutsu. Kurenai finished, looking at the file with newfound interest. I see. She frowned. But what about Hinata's situation? Are you prepared for it? Kakashi resisted the urge to roll his eyes. I am well aware that Hinata has self-esteem issues. That's where Naruto comes in. He could make a fly feel proud of itself if he was up to it. And if you're referring to what goes on in her family, well, I don't think you'll be able to do much too. Kurenai had to admit, however grudgingly, that Kakashi had a damn good point. Okay, you make a good argument. Well, what do you say? Kakashi leaned in, as if waiting for her answer. Do I get the Hyuga? Fine. Kurenai gave in reluctantly. She snatched up Sakura's file, and placed Hinata's in Kakashi's waiting hand. Nice doing business with you. Kakashi saluted to the other Jonin sensei and the third Hokage, and then poofed away. Kurenai rolled her eyes at his antics, then left as well, leaving only Asuma Sarutobi and his father. That was interesting. Asuma lit a cigarette and held it to his mouth, replaying the scenario with faint amusement. He was, quite honestly, content with having the iconic Shika Ino Cho as his team, so it was rather entertaining to see his fellow senseis fight over students. Indeed, the third Hokage himself lit his very own pipe. Kakashi must really be serious about this team. Well, he does have the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, and the last Uchiha, Asuma, blew out smoke, watching it form small puffs in the night sky. We'll just have to see. Hiruzen Sarutobi chewed on his pipe. We'll just have to see. Dash 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 dash. Hinata Hyuga woke up this morning happy, with a helping of uncharacteristic pride. Yes, Hinata Hyuga, known for having confidence issues, was proud of herself, even though it was going to be short-term. But who wouldn't be if they were in her shoes? She passed the exams, although not with the flying colors that her cousin Neji passed with, and now she was going to be sorted in a three-man team. She stood in front of her bathroom mirror, and tied the headband with the Leaf Village insignia carved into the middle around her neck. She adjusted it a few times, noting how her short, boyish haircut and thick side bangs would not interfere with the headband. The short hair was a sign of disgrace, but today Hinata saw it in a new light, even though it was quite a weak new light to see it in. After she pulled on a gray hoodie, she walked to the front of the compound to prepare her lunch. She came across Neji, who sneered at her and stalked the other way. Hinata internally sighed. She knew why Neji hated her, and she took full responsibility. It was, after all, her fault that she was so weak. And it was her fault that Neji's father died. As she looked at Neji's back disappearing around the corner, a resolution hardened a bit. Big sister. Hinata was suddenly tackled down by a flying blur of brown hair. Hanabi. Hanabi wrapped her arms around Hinata's waist and looked up with pure admiration. Today you get into your team. She jumped up and down, ecstatic. Hinata laughed. While she herself looked exactly like her mother with her dark blue hair and pale skin, Hanabi was a mix. She had her father's brown hair, of course, but her nose and ears were identical to Hinata's. Of course, Hinata mused, she had probably inherited her father's boldness. Can you train with me today? Hanabi looked up to Hinata with shining eyes. Pretty please. Well, I'll see. Hinata smiled. This was one of the moments when she knew that letting Hanabi win their frequent matches was a good choice. She would be an excellent clan head. But I have to go now. She gently detached a disappointed Hanabi from her, and made her way to the academy. Bye, Hinata. Hinata giggled at Hanabi's loud farewell. As she was walking, she saw someone else join her on the same path. Sasuke Uchiha. Hinata never liked him that way. She actually felt a little bad for him when he was attacked by his fangirls. Their compounds were right next to each other, so sometimes they'd walk to class together. On their walks, no words were spoken, just silent, dare she call it, companionship. And then when they got to class, Hinata sitting in the back near the entrance, and Sasuke in the middle of the room, they left each other alone until walking back. Today was no different. She offered Sasuke a small nod which he acknowledged with a "HN", and sat in her seat at the back. Naruto, what are you doing here? This is only for the graduates. Hinata perked up when she heard Shikamaru reference her favorite blonde. I passed. Naruto pointed at his headband. See, Naruto had passed. Hinata smiled. She was proud for him. She knew how happy he must have been after working so hard. And then, he turned around and smiled at her. Hinata immediately blushed. Was Naruto looking at her? And then she realized his subject of affection was towards a certain pink-haired girl. Of course, she thought rather ruefully, He probably didn't even know who I am. Hey, Sakura. Naruto waved. Wanna sit with me? He was abruptly cut off when Sakura stomped over him to get to Sasuke. Shut up, idiot. Oh, hi, Sasuke. She immediately transformed into a shy, in-love girl when coming across Sasuke. Mind if I sit with you? As if, forehead. Ino shoved her way through. I came in first. If that's so, I should sit with him. Another girl joined the melee. It was safe to say that it didn't take long for all the girls to join the action. Sasuke sighed. How in the world was he supposed to get rid of all them? He thought he had been obvious about not having an interest in any of them. And to think that he'd be in the same team as one of them, he shuddered at the thought. The only bearable girl would be the Hyuga. That's right, he thought, at least she knows to be quiet and leave me alone. Meanwhile, Naruto was fuming. What was so good about that bastard anyways? He jumped onto the desk, and glared at said bastard. Naruto, stop glaring at Sasuke. Sakura scolded him. Naruto glanced at her. It was always Sasuke that. He'd show them, one day he'd become Hokage, and then. Someone pushed Naruto from behind, causing him to fall forwards and lock lips with Sasuke. Oops, sorry. The kid's voice faded to see what he had done. Gah! Naruto leapt away from Sasuke, gagging. Naruto. Sasuke wiped at his lips furiously. What the hell? Naruto. Naruto froze at the threatening way in which his name was said. Sakura. Sakura slammed her fist into her open palm and cracked her knuckles. You are dead. Let's just say that Naruto was thankful that Iruka walked in when he did. Dash 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 dash. Iruka studied this interesting scene in front of him. Naruto had a black eye and half his face was swollen. Sakura was ecstatic as she got to sit next to Sasuke, and Sasuke was indifferent as usual. He sighed and took out the papers that held the team members' names. Alright, now that all of you have settled down, he gave a pointed look in Naruto's general direction. I will call out the team members. He took a deep breath. This could turn out to be very ugly. Team 7 is Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto proudly flashed his headband. Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto glared at Sasuke while Sakura looked at him with shining eyes, waiting for what she thought would be her name to be called. And Hinata Hyuga, you three are Team 7. The room filled with silence. Hinata was happy to be with Naruto, but the attention she was getting. Not good. It seemed as if every girl in the room was glaring daggers at her, especially Sakura. That little witch, Sakura thought with gritted teeth. She must have used her role as heiress to get on the same team as my Sasuke. Naruto, on the other hand, had a much louder approach. Why do I, sensei, a great ninja, have to be on the same team as a loser like Sasuke? Because, Naruto, Iruka raised his voice out of impatience, Sasuke got the best scores out of the whole class, and you got the lowest. Naruto, HMPHED, and sat back down, sulking. Sensei, I want to be on the same team as Sasuke. The whole class of girls were shouting. Oh my god, everybody be quiet. Iruka shouted. The whole class fell silent. Your teams are your teams, and will remain your teams for the rest of my life, damn it. He glared crossly at his class. Now, Team 8 will be Kiba and Izuka. Kiba grinned, big canines and all, and Akamaru barked his approval. Shino Aburame. Kiba glanced at Shino, offering a small nod. Shino returned it impassively. Those two had a relationship that was just strong enough to be considered acquainted. Shino was fine with Akamaru, and Kiba wasn't afraid of bugs. So that was that. In Sakura Haruno, Sakura immediately groaned, and let her face fall forwards onto the table. Not the bug and dog boys, she thought. I'm doomed, she wailed out loud. Hey, we're not so eager to be with you either. Kiba barked out at her, and Akamaru growled in agreement. Ino smirked at Sakura's expense. Team 10 will be Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akamichi, and Ino Yamanaka. The smirk faded. Oh no, Shikamaru dropped his head onto his desk. Not the ill-tempered shrew. What a drag. Sakura grinned evilly at Ino and whispered, good luck with Lazy Head and Mr. Chubby. Alright, you can go take your lunch break now. Your senseis come at noon. With that, Iruka stormed out of the room and slammed the door behind him. It was a moment of silence before the students left the classroom. Hinata went to go find Naruto and Sasuke, which she did so successfully. They were in the same area along with Sakura. She approached both of them. Do you guys want to eat with me? She looked hopefully at both Naruto and Sasuke. Okay, then, I'll eat with Sasuke, and you go eat with Naruto. Sakura grabbed onto Sasuke's hand, only to be shaken off. I'll eat with my teammates, thank you. Sasuke glared coldly at Sakura, and stalked off towards Naruto and Hinata. Hey, bastard, apologize to Sakura. Naruto glared at Sasuke. Why did he have to be so mean? Shut up, Naruto. Sakura took her anger out on him. Naruto looked at her with a hurt face. Hinata watched this exchange with wide eyes. Come on. Sasuke grabbed both her and Naruto's wrists and dragged them off to an isolated bench. He sat down with a huff, and looked pointedly at both Naruto and Hinata. Hinata sat down next to him and took out her bento, which was filled with takoyaki and fish on rice. Naruto sat next to Hinata, placing her in between him and Sasuke. Sasuke took out some rice balls, and Naruto, he didn't have anything. And Naruto? Hinata asked, concerned, do you have lunch? Nah. He looked down, scuffing the ground with his sandal. I can't afford more than one meal a day with their taxes. He wrinkled his nose at the mention of said taxes. Hinata frowned. What taxes? And then she realized that Naruto had been treated differently for the time she saw him. She was not allowed to talk to him until she joined the academy, but she was always too shy to do so until now. Here, she scooped up a small portion of her bento into the lid, and handed the bento to Naruto, leaving the lid's contents for herself. He probably needed more of the food anyways. Take this. Naruto gingerly took the bento, and Hinata offered him a pair of chopsticks. He looked as if he had tears in his eyes. I don't know if I can take this. Just take it, loser. Sasuke bit into his own rice ball. Hinata and Naruto both swung their heads in the direction of the voice, and stared openly at Sasuke. What? He asked defensively, mouth full of rice. If he doesn't eat, then he'll become a liability to the team. Naruto sighed in relief. Thank goodness. I almost had a heart attack there, Sasuke. I thought you actually cared for me. Sasuke rolled his eyes. Naruto took the chopsticks from Hinata and dug in. Fish-ish so good. He complimented Hinata's food with a full mouth. Thank you, Naruto. Hinata blushed. I made it myself. Wow, Naruto thought. She's a really good cook. After eating, the three newly proclaimed genin made their way back to the academy. And there, they sat down waiting for their sensei to come. They waited, and waited. Naruto threw a small tantrum. Why is he so late? It's okay, and Naruto. Hinata looked at him anxiously. I'm sure he had some important business, or something. Or maybe he's just late. Sasuke brooded. Hinata was too nice for her own good, making excuses for their tardy sensei. Naruto crossed his arms. All the other genin teams had left. There was no way he was going to just sit and wait. He grinned and placed an eraser marker on the door. Naruto, Maybe we shouldn't. Hinata's voice faded off. You actually think he'll fall for that, loser? Sasuke scoffed. Our sensei is a Jonin, an elite ninja. Said elite ninja walked into the room saying, hello, my cute little genin. Only to have an eraser plop on his head. The whole room of 3 kids stared at him dumbstruck. Naruto was the first to recover, rolling around the floor and laughing. I got you. I totally got you. Hinata nervously bowed in apology. I'm so sorry, sensei. Sasuke was staring at him in disbelief. This was an elite ninja. Well, Kakashi looked at his new students. My first impression of you is, I don't like you. All 3 students' heads dropped in despair. Hinata, Naruto, and Sasuke were all sitting on the roof along with their sensei. Naruto and Sasuke were sitting on either side of Hinata, who was acting like a barrier between the two, so arguments didn't spontaneously break out. Well, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Kakashi suggested. What do you mean? Naruto leaned in. You know, your likes, dislikes, dreams, and hobbies, that kind of stuff, Kakashi explained. Why don't you go first? Naruto narrowed his eyes. Show us how it's done, sensei. Kakashi shrugged. Let's see. My name is Kakashi Hatake. He thought for a bit. I dislike talking about my likes. I never really thought about my dreams and hobbies. I have lots of hobbies. He finished off with a closed-eye smile that hid beneath his mask. The genin were dumbstruck. He only gave them his name. All right. He scanned his eyes over his new students. You, on the right, you go first. He looked straight at Naruto. Naruto sat up. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I like ramen in a cup. I really like the ramen that Iruka-sensei got me at the Ichiraku noodle shop, but I hate the 3 minutes you have to wait for the water to cool down. My hobbies are eating ramen and comparing the flavors. He then stood up and corrected his headband. My dream is to one day become Hokage. Then people will stop disrespecting me and treat me like I'm somebody important. Hinata looked at Naruto admiringly. Oh, Naruto. Kakashi, on the other hand, was intrigued, to say the least. This boy certainly grew up in a interesting way. Okay. He turned to Hinata. The lady is next. Hinata gulped from all the attention being up on her. My name is Hinata H. Hyuga. My favorite foods are cinnamon buns and red bean paste. My hobbies are flower pressing. My dislikes, the inequality of the Hyuga clan, and the caged bird seal. Or rather personal, and my dream is, Kakashi noticed that her eyes seemed to harden before she spoke. My dream is to be a kunoichi as strong as my father and as kind as my mother. Huh, no stutter on the last bit, Kakashi noted thoughtfully. All right, you. He pointed at Sasuke. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke sat with his chin on his hands, looking darkly into the distance. I have many dislikes, and I don't particularly like anything. My dream is not a dream, but a goal because it will happen. I will find a certain man and kill him. The atmosphere was chilling after he finished. Hinata looked at him warily, and Naruto hoped that said man wasn't him. Kakashi sighed. It was just as he expected. Okay. Get a good night's sleep tonight, everybody, because tomorrow we're going to do a survival exercise. Survival exercise? Hinata inquired curiously. Yes. Kakashi's eye gleamed, and he started chuckling. What's so funny? Naruto wanted to know. Well, Kakashi immediately stopped laughing, but his eye still had that evil glint. You won't like this, but out of the 27 chosen genin, only 9 of them can pass. The 3 all froze, staring in disbelief. That meant that there was a 66% chance that they could fail. Come tomorrow at 5 o'clock, Kakashi instructed. Oh, and don't eat breakfast unless you want to puke. dash 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 dash. The next morning, Hinata ate a small bowl of rice, just enough to fill her up in the morning, but not enough for her to have to regurgitate everything up. She then sleepily made her way to the training grounds in which they would have their survival exercise. When she arrived, she saw Sasuke standing next to a tree. Naruto had yet to arrive. Sasuke gave her a nod which she returned politely. A few moments later, Naruto arrived, loud and proud. And then they waited for Kakashi. And waited. Hours ticked by, and their sensei had yet to show his masked face. Naruto groaned. He was, after all, not known for his patience. Our stupid sensei is taking so long. He paced around, scuffing at the ground with his sandal. What kind of teacher makes his students wait? He dropped onto the ground, exasperated. Naruto, I'm sure he's going to come soon, Hinata consoled him gently. He probably had something come up. Naruto nodded his head. Right, Hinata started for a moment. Naruto wasn't putting up a fight. But when she turned to look at said blonde again, she found out he was asleep. Hinata sighed. Poor Naruto. Another 30 minutes ticked by. Even Sasuke was getting tired. Naruto was sound asleep, and Hinata was trying very hard to stay awake. Hello, everybody. Hinata started, whipping around to face the intruder. Sasuke stood in fighting position, shuriken at the ready, and Naruto woke up and jumped at the sight of who was standing in front of him. You're late, he pointed accusingly at a certain silver-haired sensei. Sorry, guys, a black cat crossed my path, so I had to take the long way. Naruto scoffed and turned away. Sasuke rolled his eyes. Even Hinata raised a mental eyebrow. Kakashi internally berated himself for coming up with such a stupid excuse. Alrighty then, he said, hastily turning the conversation away from his tardiness. On with the training exercise. He took out 2 bells. The goal is to get the bells. Whoever fails cannot eat lunch, and has to sit tied to the post watching me eat. Oh, Hinata realized. That's why he told us not to eat breakfast. Also, he continued, if you don't get a bell, you get sent back to the academy. Now that got everybody's attention. Naruto gritted his teeth, promising himself he would get a bell. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. His quest for revenge, for him, would not be in the dust because of a dumb bell assessment led by an even dumber sensei. Hinata worried about what her father would say if she failed. No. She would not fail. Weapons are allowed, including shuriken. If you're not prepared to kill me, then you won't get the bells. He calmly retracted the bells. You will start when I say, go. Hinata's eyes widened. But what if he got hurt? Ha, you think you would stand a chance against actual weapons? Naruto snorted. You couldn't even dodge an eraser. Ah, the class clowns, Kakashi provoked Naruto languidly. Always the ones with more bark than bite. They're always the weakest out of everyone, and are, he paused. Losers. Naruto froze. He lost all sense. He could only hear one word repeating in his head. Loser, loser, loser. Letting out a battle cry, he charged straight towards Kakashi, kunai twirling around his finger. Only to be held back by one hand. So, he really is a Jonin, Sasuke analyzed carefully. Those reflexes. Hinata was shocked by the display. That speed. Now, Kakashi chided. Don't be in such a hurry. I didn't say, go, yet. Naruto jumped back to his teammates, humiliated. Okay, now, 3, 2, 1, go. Kakashi commanded, and they all sprang away. At least they know the basics of hiding. Kakashi noted, of course, I can still sense them by their chakra, but a commendable offer. And then he realized he spoke too soon. Ah yes, the odd one out. Alright, let's go, you and me, fair and square. Naruto stood there, chest thrust out. Kakashi looked at him, bemused. This kid, he shrugged. It was his choice. Meanwhile, hiding in the bushes, Sasuke scoffed. What an idiot. Naruto frowned when he realized that Kakashi wasn't going to do anything, so he decided to take matters into his own hands, and charged forward, only to come crashing to a stop when he realized Kakashi was taking something out of his kunai pouch. He waited with bated breath. Was it a powerful weapon? Maybe a smoke bomb holding toxic gases? Or maybe, it was a book, a bright orange one at that, with the words, "Make out paradise," written in big, green letters on the cover. Naruto felt his eye twitch. I will crush you. He charged onwards, swinging his fist, launching a punch at Kakashi. Kakashi calmly dodged, and did so, to Naruto's frustration, with every single one of his attacks. But, Naruto had him now. He swung an uppercut into Kakashi, and realized he punched air. Never let your enemy get behind you, Kakashi berated him. Hinata's face paled. Kakashi was forming the tiger seal. That meant he was going to use a very powerful jutsu. She had to warn Naruto. She opened her mouth, ready to shout out. 1,000 years of death. Kakashi's fingers shot up Naruto's posterior. Hinata sighed. Thank goodness it wasn't fatal. Actually, looking back on what Naruto's face looked like before he went flying into the river, it probably felt worse than a very powerful technique. She watched as Naruto chucked 2 shuriken, which ended up on Kakashi's 2 fingers, and then he performed the clone jutsu, something that Hinata never saw him do before. Wait, she activated her Byakugan. Those aren't just copies, they're flesh and blood. And then, when Naruto had snuck behind Kakashi and trapped him, Hinata cheered him on silently. I should probably go help him. She realized. But he looks fine. Well, he did, until Kakashi pulled a fast one on him, causing him to punch himself, and tricked him into being tied up. Don't fall for so obvious traps, Kakashi, once again, berated Naruto. But Sasuke had plans to use this moment of vulnerability from Kakashi. Now's my chance, he thought. Hinata watched with wide eyes, as a myriad of shuriken and kunai lodged themselves into Kakashi's body. Sasuke, now you've done it. Naruto complained. You killed him. Hinata shook her head. Substitution. She glanced at Naruto, who was currently tied up, and after scanning the clearing with her Byakugan to make sure Kakashi wasn't anywhere near, raced over to help him. Sasuke, on the other hand, cursed after seeing Kakashi turn into a log, and raced off. When Hinata got to Naruto, she immediately raced up the tree to cut him off. Naruto, she panted, pulling out a kunai. Are you okay? Naruto watched her. Why are you helping me? Because we need to work together. Hinata replied calmly, sawing off the rest of the rope. We can go get Sasuke, she grunted a bit while lifting him up. And he can help us as well. Naruto sat down on the tree. HMPH. He turned his head up. No way am I working with the bastard. Naruto, please. Hinata turned towards him. We have to. Kakashi is a jonin. We need all the manpower we can get. Naruto hesitated. In a way, Hinata did have a point. Alright, fine. Let's go find the bastard. He reluctantly followed Hinata. How are you going to find him, though? Like this. Hinata formed hand seals with practiced ease. Byakugan. Veins around her eyes bulged out, and her usually non-existent pupils were traced. She scanned the area. There. She raced over, past the bushes to see Sasuke hammered into the ground. Naruto immediately burst out laughing. Sasuke glared. Hinata rushed over and started to get Sasuke out. Naruto. Naruto controlled his laughing as well as he could, and he joined over to pull Sasuke out. Once that was done, Hinata sat them all down and explained her plan. Why should I work with you guys? Sasuke was skeptical. Hinata was getting frustrated. Because our sensei is a jonin. We have no chance against him individually. Sasuke quietly went over her plan. Fine. I'll work with you guys. Hinata beamed. I promise both of you won't regret it. And thus, the plan started. Dash 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 dash. Kakashi was wondering where his cute little genin, as he liked to call it, went, when an orange blur crashed straight towards him. It's about time, he said, and dodged the kick. You bet, Naruto smirked. Kakashi frowned. There was a difference almost, Naruto seemed assured. Shadow clone jutsu, Naruto yelled, forming the ram hand seal. The same trick won't work twice, you know. Kakashi rolled his eyes. But wait, shadow clones weren't forming. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. A large, you guessed it, fireball banged straight at Kakashi. He barely dodged, surprised out of his wits. Sasuke. That's right, said Uchiha crossed his arms. Hinata. Now. Hinata swooped right underneath an unaware Kakashi, and she grabbed the bells. She pulled away, panting. Kakashi wondered why he just didn't stop her, when he realized that both his arms were numb. She blocked my chakra points. He realized. Sneaky brat. Hinata triumphantly held out the bells, and then realized that Naruto and Sasuke were both looking at her expectantly. Right, who would she give the other bell to? She hesitated for a moment, and then came to a decision. Both of the boys in front of her turned shocked when she bowed and offered them each a bell. Here, she mumbled. Take them. She could face her father again. She, after all, had experience with that. Naruto and Sasuke's dreams were both more important than hers, and she could always try again next year. Bravo, all three of you. Kakashi walked over, clapping. You found the true meaning of this test. Teamwork, Hinata guessed. That's right, he smiled, this time genuine. Kudos to you, Hinata, you thought about Naruto and Sasuke before yourself. You all pass. He leaned forward, his eyes darkening for a moment. But never forget, always cherish your teammates like they're worth more than gold, because one day, if you lose them, you'll realize you have nothing left at all. People who break the rules are scum, yes, but those who abandon their teammates are worse than scum. The three newly made genin nodded solemnly. And then they all did a mini celebration. Naruto was jumping up and down, bell clinking in his hand. Hinata was beaming so hard that she thought her face would split. Even Sasuke held a small smile. They did it. They were genin, actual ninja now. Hey, loser, Sasuke called out. Naruto looked over. What? Give me your bell. Sasuke impatiently held out a hand. Huh, why? Naruto cuddled his bell protectively. Sasuke rolled his eyes. Calm down, loser. I'm giving them to Hinata. She deserves them. Naruto laughed. Well, that's fine then. Who would have known that the great Sasuke Uchiha would have swallowed his pride to say the words, she deserves them. Sasuke took a deep breath to calm himself and turned to Naruto's way. At least we all knew that a certain knuckle-headed ninja would actually reply to the name, loser. Twice. Naruto realized what he had done. Hey, Sasuke shrugged, and gave his and Naruto's bell to Hinata. Thanks, both of you. She smiled at them and looked down at the bells. Where would she put them? At the end, she decided to weave them into her hair. There. That would stay. Are you guys okay with the bells being in my hair? She inquired softly. It's not loud, is it? Nah, it's fine. Naruto waved a dismissive hand. It sounds nice. Sasuke, HNED, in agreement. Just take them off when we're on missions. Alright, Hinata smiled. Do you guys want to go eat together? You know, to celebrate. She was suddenly shy again. Maybe they had other things to do. Sure. Naruto slung an arm around Hinata's shoulders, and she eeped out of surprise. She was not this comfortable with direct contact. Ichiraku. Fine. Sasuke grudgingly agreed. But we cannot have ramen every day. I will get sick. Hey, don't forget me. Kakashi stepped forward and mused up Naruto's hair. I'm your sensei after all. He looked up from his book. And it'll be my treat. Now you're talking. Naruto punched a fist into the air. Ramen. And that was when Kakashi realized that taking the bill probably wasn't the best idea. Naruto was dragging a very mortified Hinata and a very reluctant Sasuke along with him. The former was mortified because of the unsightly manner she was being dragged in, and the latter was just very pessimistic about everything in general. Naruto, on the other hand, couldn't be happier. Old man, Naruto greeted happily, plopping his teammates onto seats next to him. Nice to see ya. Kakashi followed after, sitting next to Hinata. Well, Tsuki smiled broadly at his new customers. Who have we got here, Naruto? Naruto remembered that he had to introduce his new team. Oh yeah, that's Hinata over there. Hinata bowed and smiled shyly. Sasuke is the one on my right. Sasuke gave a nod. And Kakashi-sensei is the one right next to Hinata. He clapped his hands together. Alright, let's eat now. Tsuki laughed. Okay, what do you all want? Naruto gave a thumbs up. You know me, old man. Miso ramen with extra pork. Alright. Tsuki turned to Hinata and Sasuke. And you? Hinata thought about it. I'll have tonkatsu ramen, if that's okay. Tsuki nodded and looked at Sasuke, who, as he was rather unskilled in the art of choosing ramen, chose the same thing as Hinata because he was not humble enough to follow Naruto's choice. And lastly, the sensei. Tsuki looked expectantly at Kakashi. I'll have what Naruto's having, thank you. He gave a closed-eye smile. You got it. He turned around. Ayame. Coming. Dad. A pretty lady with a bandana tied around her head walked in with the bowls of ramen and placed them in front of Team 7. All four of them grabbed chopsticks in their respective bowls. Thank you for the food. They all chorused. No problem. Tsuki smiled fatherly. Dig in. Wow. Naruto, after snapping his chopsticks, began eating at a pace that would give Choji a run for his money. Sasuke, Hinata, and Kakashi stared dumbstruck. Naruto really likes ramen, Hinata thought, taking her own bite. He really likes it. Maybe he liked it too much because at the end of the meal, poor Kakashi might as well be broke. Dash 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 dash. Okay. That was a really nice meal. Kakashi hurriedly drove Naruto out of the ramen shop before he could go in debt even more. But I have business. Bye, old man. Naruto waved, and Sasuke and Hinata bowed and nodded respectively. Phew. Kakashi sighed and wiped away the sweat on his brow. That was close. But he wasn't exactly lying when he said that he had business. Now this is going to be tough. Right then, he turned to Hinata. Time to talk to your father about your situation. Hinata paled for a moment, and then nodded. Huh, what do you mean? Naruto was oblivious. What do we have to ask her dad? Idiot, Hinata is a heiress to a powerful clan. Sasuke scoffed at his ignorance. We need to have her father's permission to do dangerous missions. Oh, that's why. Naruto turned to Hinata grinning. So you're some sort of princess? Oh, no, not really. Hinata didn't really feel like talking. She instead hung her head and scuffed at the ground as she walked. Hinata. Naruto jumped forward to face her. What's wrong? Hinata forced a smile. It's nothing. I just don't feel that well. Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Kakashi sighed. dash 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 dash. Here we are, Kakashi declared cheerfully. Let's go. All of Team 7 walked into the compound. It feels so cold here. Naruto wrinkled his nose. And it's not the weather. No, it wasn't the weather. Everybody here held themselves sort of contempt, some sort of arrogance towards other people that was so unlike sweet, gentle Hinata, that if not for her telltale white eyes, he would have laughed at anyone who said that she was related to this clan of bastards. Dash 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 dash. Sasuke bitterly watched Hinata walk with her head bowed. She should be more grateful that she had a family, that she had some place to go to. She had everything she wanted, yet she walked with such sorrow, and was that fear? His thoughts started to swerve. Dash 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 dash. Hinata took deep breaths to calm herself. The atmosphere in the Hyuga compound was suffocating for her. It reminded her of the many battles she lost to Neji because of her weakness and reluctance to hurt her own blood, and the many battles she lost to Hanabi because she couldn't bear to hurt a child, much less her own sister, 5 years her senior. The name, Hyuga, meaning sunny place, was misleading. Okay, you three wait outside, Kakashi said, stopping at the head's house. I'll talk to Lord Hiashi. Hinata nodded. Naruto and Sasuke leaned in to listen to what they were saying. They didn't have to try too hard, though, as the screens were made of paper and could easily let out sounds. Lord Hiashi, state your purpose. I would like to talk about your daughter. Do I have your approval to take on missions with her? Do what you like. She is superfluous to the clan, an embarrassment. Make her go on the most life-risking missions, I couldn't care less. Naruto and Sasuke abruptly turned to Hinata, both of them shocked. Hinata had her head bowed, like she had heard those words 1,000 times before. Now please leave. You are disrupting Hanabi's training. They heard footsteps and saw Kakashi walk out. Well, he looked carefully at Hinata. I will kill them, Naruto yelled out and rammed straight through the door. Hinata thought that she could hear a faint giggle that sounded as if it came from Hanabi. Kakashi groaned. And if I didn't already have a headache? No, Naruto, stop, that's not how we, oh my god, this kid. Kakashi raced after him. Sorry Lord Hiashi, will you stop kicking? Sometimes my students get a little god. Naruto, hey, I'm so sorry. Sasuke glanced at Hinata. If he had known, Hinata glanced up, knowing what he had to say. It's okay, Sasuke. Why do they treat this way? Sasuke winced at his straightforward words. He was never known for tact, after all. Well, Hinata turned her head up. They have me fight my blood, my cousin, Neji, and my little sister, Hanabi. I always lose. She shrugged. I guess I'm just weak. Sasuke frowned. You lost to Hanabi. Hinata smiled sadly. I don't feel right hurting a 6-year-old. Sasuke was stunned. And then, Hinata turned to him. And then they disinherited me in favor of Hanabi. She closed her eyes and continued to smile. But Hanabi will be a much better heiress than me. I don't have the disposition. That's right. Sasuke turned around at the voice. Neji. Hinata greeted. Lady Hinata. He stressed the lady, mocking Hinata, will never be fit for heiress. Sasuke glared at him. Don't talk to my teammate that way. Neji sneered at him. At this moment Kakashi walked out of the house, carrying a kicking Naruto. Let me go. I'll show those jerks. No, stop, I want to go beat them up. He stopped talking when he saw Neji glaring at him. Kakashi and Naruto watched Neji stalk into the house curiously. What's up with Mr. Princess Hair? Naruto mouthed to Hinata. That's my cousin, Neji. Hinata's gaze followed him. But he's like a brother to me. Sasuke punched the pillar of the house. They're idiots, he stated coldly. If they think you weak, Hinata. Let's go. This place is disgusting. He stormed out. What's up with the bastard? Naruto mouthed to Hinata. Hinata watched Sasuke walk out, a little bit concerned. She hadn't thought he would react that bad. But then again, Naruto did try to destroy her father after hearing what was said about her. She was touched that they cared so much for her. No one, apart from her late mother and her sister Hanabi. But her mother was, well, dead, and her sister only could do so much, as Hiashi was also her father. But these strangers cared so much about her. No, they're not strangers. Hinata thought. They're my comrades, my friends. Kakashi watched his little team proudly, as they walked out of the compound. He had only restrained Naruto because he didn't want him to get in trouble with the clan. Internally, he had been cheering him on, as he chased him around. And to see a normally impassive Sasuke have such a reaction to his teammate, well, that was something. I chose the right people for this team, he realized. And then watching Naruto defend his teammate, watching Sasuke protect them in his own way, and watching Hinata act as a medicine to their wounded souls in return, he felt a sensation he hadn't felt in a very, very long time. He was proud. Dash 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 dash. Hinata, why does Neji hate you so much? It can't just be because you're weak. That doesn't deserve hate. Sasuke turned steely eyes on her. Yeah, Hinata, why does he glare at you like that? Naruto was curious as well. The way Neji looked at Hinata, the eyes that glared at her, they were like the ones that the villagers gave him. No one should have to go through that, he decided, especially not my teammates. Well, remember when I said that what I hate is rather personal? Naruto and Sasuke nodded. Hinata took a deep breath. The Hyuga clan has a system where the people not of the main branch are branded with the caged bird seal and are practically slaves to the main house. This was part of the reason Neji's father died. I was the other part. Hinata took another shaking breath. Hinata, if you don't want to talk about this, you don't have to, Naruto reassured. He's right, I didn't mean to pressure you, Sasuke agreed. And no, Hinata looked up with a new resolution. I want to do this. When I was 3 years old, a cloud ninja kidnapped me. My father heard him and killed him when he confronted him. The cloud village claimed to have no intentions of stealing me, no intentions of stealing my Byakugan, and said they wanted the life of the person who took the life of one of their people. My father was too precious to kill off, so they sent his twin brother, Hisashi Hyuga. Neji's dad, Naruto realized. Hinata nodded. Neji blames me for the death of his father. He's partly right. She dropped her head. Hinata, did you plan to get kidnapped when you were 3 years old? Hinata looked up, surprised at Sasuke's harsh tone. And no, but did you plan to get kidnapped when you were 3 years old? Sasuke had raised his voice now. Sasuke. Naruto glared at him. Chill. No, Naruto. I will not. Chill. Hinata, answer me. Did you plan to get kidnapped when you were 3 years old? No, Hinata whispered. Then I don't think it's your fault in any shape or manner, Sasuke finished off. That's right, Naruto scowled at Sasuke behind Hinata's back. So don't ya worry. He slung an arm around Hinata and dragged Sasuke over. The atmosphere is getting too stiff, so why don't we have a group hug? He immediately proceeded to crush Hinata and Sasuke. MMH, Naruto. Hinata weakly protested. Naruto is hugging me, she thought internally. But this time it wasn't just based on a silly crush. No, this time I understand Naruto. This is companionship, and it wasn't so bad to just feel accepted. Loser, let go of me. No, you cannot. Naruto, don't you dare. Sasuke was cut off and dragged into the hug as well. When Naruto let go, poor Sasuke and Hinata were gasping for air and holding at their broken ribs. Hey, I might have squeezed a bit hard. Naruto bashfully scratched the back of his head. Dash 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 dash. Kakashi watched the exchange between his precious student and came to a decision. He needed a talk with the Hokage. What better time than to do so at a report about their genin? He chuckled when he imagined what Kurenai and Asuma's faces would look like. Dash 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 dash. Ah, Kakashi, you're finally here, the third Hokage greeted. Late as usual, why couldn't you just come early to tell how you failed these guys, and then let us move on? Asuma grumbled through his cigarette. Team 7 has passed, Kakashi brightly announced. Iruka was shocked and elated at the same time. Asuma's cigarette fell out of his mouth. Kurenai blinked. Genjutsu was her thing, not Kakashi's. She opened her mouth to remind him that, when he took on a more serious tone. I want to talk to you about my students' well-being, though, Lord Hokage. Kakashi turned his eye onto Hiruzen, who nodded. After the other sensei's report, of course. He looked expectantly at the other Jonin. Kurenai was the first to snap out of her shock. Oh, right, of course. Team 8 passed. Asuma was next, as did Team 10. Wonderful. Dismissed. Hiruzen waved a hand in the direction of the door. Kurenai and Asuma left with curious looks towards what Kakashi had to say. Kakashi made sure they all left before starting. First things first, he turned accusing eyes on the third Hokage. I overheard Naruto talking about some taxes being placed on things he bought, including food. What do you know about this? Hiruzen sighed. They say the Hokage's word is law, but it's up to the citizens to obey them. I've seen the injustice he goes under. It's all twisting from the council and elders. They hate that they have to put up with the 9 tails being in the village. The 9 tails Jinchuriki. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow at Kakashi's voice. I meant no disrespect, Lord Hokage, Kakashi hurriedly apologized. But what do you think the fourth would think about this? Hiruzen sighed again. Like I said, this is out of my hands. Kakashi grudgingly let go of the matter for now. He had another subject to tackle. Now, my other student, Hinata Hyuga. You do realize she goes under verbal and mental abuse every day when she's in that damned compound, right? Another matter that is out of my hands. Hiruzen chewed on his pipe. I cannot risk angering the Hyuga, and the law states that it is a clan matter. Kakashi let out a frustrated groan, which, in Hiruzen's book, was his equivalent to tossing the desk up and chucking it out of the window. I'm sorry, Lord Hokage, but they remind me of my own team so much, and it pains me to know I can't help them. They remind you of your old team. The Hokage looked at him curiously. Kakashi nodded. I'm in Minato-sensei's place. Sasuke reminds me of me. Of course, Hinata is exactly like Rin, you know, the peacemaker in the group, and Naruto reminds me of Obito. He sighed and pinched the bridge of his nose. I need some time. He stepped out of the room. See you. The third Hokage hid a smile as he looked out of his window. It was nice to see Kakashi care about something so much. His new team probably could work miracles, if they could get such a reaction out of the copy ninja so famously known for his stony and unreachable attitude. Dash 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 dash. Hinata immediately stiffened at the sound of her name. When it was called in the compound, it usually meant bad news. Especially if it was said in that manner. She approached the dojo in which the voice came from. Yes, enter. She did so obediently. Her father was standing there, arms crossed, Neji at his side. You will train with Neji. It's good for Hanabi to see how two Hyugas fight. After all, Hanabi is now heiress. And although she is a better fighter than you, she will not fight anybody seriously anytime soon, and your own skills can get better as she studies you. Hinata noticed Hanabi sitting on the elevated floor on the exit of the training dojo. Next to her was Neji. Alright then. Hinata slid into position. Her father ushered Neji into the training ground where he also dropped into position. Began. Neji immediately went on the offensive. Byakugan activated, and pushed forwards with swift hands that darted towards Hinata's chakra points and organs. She immediately realized that he wasn't holding back when he thrusted for her lungs. She swallowed the possibility of Neji killing her, and the fear that came along with it, and hastily activated her Byakugan, smacking away Neji's hands and trying to keep up with his pace. Her Byakugan showed his pressure and chakra points, and she aimed for those, careful not to touch any vital organs or points, and instead going for the ones that she knew would just paralyze him or make him unable to wield chakra. It was this kindness, or naivete, as many would call it, that led to her fall. Neji took advantage of her carefulness and hammered on. Hinata felt hands injecting vile chakra into her stomach, shoulders, chest. Stop. Neji immediately halted his ruthless onslaught when Hiashi gave the command to stop. Hinata dropped to the floor, breathing heavily. That will be all. Hiashi looked at the sky. Hinata, you may retire into your rooms now. You have a meeting with your team tomorrow, no? Hinata nodded shakily and struggled to her feet. Why yes, father. Her father frowned. Do not call me, father. You are no daughter of mine. And dropped the stutter, it's annoying. He swept away, Neji by his side. Hanabi cast her sister a worried look before following Hiashi. Hinata weakly smiled in reassurance. She checked the time. It was 11 o'clock now. She didn't know that the fight lasted that long. She dragged herself across the compound to her room, numbly moving her sore feet one by one. She stayed awake long enough to get into her room, and then collapsed onto the floor out of exhaustion. My chakra points are blocked, my arms are disabled, I probably have chakra burns. Hinata listed all the ways she was injured in the fight in an effort to keep away from one question that kept pestering her. Would Neji kill her if not for her father interfering? Before Hisashi Hyuga's death, she would have fervently denied it. Now, she didn't know. The thought kept her restless for the remainder of the night. dash 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 dash. Naruto and Sasuke were currently at the training grounds, waiting for Hinata. Hinata, who was always punctual, and at some times early. Hinata, who would never dare disrespect her sensei and fellow genin by being tardy. Hinata, who was late. At this point, Naruto and Sasuke were too confused, and a bit concerned, to argue. Instead, they came up with possibilities of why Hinata was late to ease their imaginations. Maybe she wanted to eat at Ichiraku's, and she loved it so much she forgot the time. Naruto said excitedly. Idiot. Sasuke rolled his eyes. Not everybody likes to eat ramen as much as you. Well, those people either have deficient taste buds, or are completely cuckoo. Believe it, Naruto declared. So, you're calling Hinata completely cuckoo? Sasuke raised an eyebrow. No, I'm just saying she likes Hinata. Sasuke turned around to greet the missing member of the team only to have to rush forward and catch her along with Naruto. Hey, Hinata. Naruto waved a hand in front of her face. You good, Hinata? Hinata, currently being supported by Naruto and Sasuke, mumbled a soft, I'm okay, before passing out. Here, Naruto and Sasuke glanced around again at the new addition to the group. I'm going to get whiplash if this continues. Naruto thought ruefully, but he had more pressing matters on the hand than a head or neck injury. Kakashi bent down and scooped her up, placing her gently on the bottom of the tree. There he held up a hand that was glowing green and placed it next to the bruise on her face. Slowly, it faded. I learned a simplified version of the healing palm technique with my Sharingan. Kakashi thought. But she is suffering from more than simple bruises and scrapes. This is past my expertise, but with rest, she will be able to recover. It's mostly exhaustion that is the problem. After he was finished fixing up Hinata to his best ability, he gently nudged her awake. HGHH. Hinata sat up and rubbed her eyes, and then realized that she was at a meeting and her sensei was standing right in front of her. She immediately stood up and bowed. I'm so sorry, Kakashi-sensei. She hastily apologized. None of that please. Kakashi guided her back down to a seating position. But tell me, what happened to you? Naruto and Sasuke leaned forwards to hear the answer. Hinata's eyes shied away from her team's gazes. It's nothing. Just family training. Naruto's eyes flared, and he opened his mouth to protest, but was stopped by Kakashi. What's the big deal? He demanded at his sensei. Not right now, Kakashi hissed back. He then smiled and turned to Hinata. Well, good thing today we won't be doing anything too intense. We'll have some individual training to see what your specialities are and whatnot. He formed a seal for shadow clones. Hinata, you follow the shadow clone on the right, Sasuke you on the left. Hinata and Sasuke both walked to their respective shadow clones. What about me? Naruto turned to Kakashi eagerly. You get the original me, of course. Kakashi smiled behind his mask. All three of them watched silently as one of Kakashi's shadow clones led Hinata away into the woods. Kakashi prepared himself for the next moment. It was not going to be pretty. Sasuke, Naruto, Kakashi said. I know you guys know what happened to Hinata, and I know you're both angry, but you guys need to make sure not to do anything rash. This is a clan matter, it is not our business, and it is out of our control. He was immediately assaulted by multiple protests. We'll make it our business. Naruto insisted. We'll bring it into our control. Believe it. To hell with the clan matters, Sasuke agreed. She's our teammate, it's now our matters as well. Kakashi raised a hand to stop their words. I know, it's unjust the way they treat her. But what can we do? Naruto and Sasuke were silent. That they didn't know. Kakashi softened his tone. We just need to support her from over here, and I know it won't solve the issue, but we can let her know that she has a safe haven with us. Naruto brightened up. That's right, she can stay at my apartment whenever she wants to. Kakashi wrinkled his nose. Only if she likes a trashed up place and spoiled milk. Naruto protested. My place is not trashed up. Wait. How do you know what my apartment looks like? He eyed Kakashi suspiciously. Kakashi gave a nervous laugh. Guesses. Naruto let out a HMPH and turned away. Perverted stalker. Okay. Now, Sasuke, follow the clone, and Naruto will be staying here. Kakashi hurriedly changed the subject away from him being a perverted stalker, as Naruto so gracefully put it. Woohoo! Naruto jumped up and punched the air. Training. Dash 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 dash. Hinata followed Kakashi-sensei's clone into the woods. After they came across a clearing, the clone stopped and faced her. We're going to start with your elemental aptitude, Kakashi began. He produced 2 slips of paper. To test, simply inject chakra into the paper. He handed one to Hinata, and then demonstrated. His paper crinkled. Different chakra natures will produce different results from the paper. Fire will make the paper burn and turn into ash, wind will make it split in half, lightning will make it crinkle, earth will make it turn into dirt and crumble away, and water will make it wet. Hinata held the paper between 2 fingers and carefully imputed some of her chakra. The paper turned wet. She bowed her head in shame. The common chakra nature for Hyugas was earth, and although they didn't incorporate it into jutsu, it explained their solid grounded stance. Water and lightning chakra nature. Interesting. Kakashi noted. Hinata's head snapped back up. Lightning. She looked back to the slip of paper and realized it had crinkled as well. Well, I'll look up some jutsu for you to learn, but I have a question, Hinata, Kakashi continued. Hinata looked up. Yes. Do you have any knowledge about medicine? The clone inquired. Hinata nodded. Actually, I do. She pulled up a small container. I make my own healing salve. The clone nodded and asked for it by gesturing with his hand. Hinata complied immediately. Kakashi's clone unscrewed the lid and dipped his fingers in, scooping out some of the paste. He looked at it approvingly. It was almost at the same level, if not equal, with the medical paste that Chunon's got. After wiping his hands and handing the canister back to Hinata, he produced some scrolls. I personally think that you would have a lot of potential with the healing side of shinobi, Kakashi explained. So I thought to teach you what I know. These scrolls are directions to a much more advanced version of the medical ninjutsu I will show you right now. Hinata nodded. She also liked the idea of healing instead of harming with the abilities she had. Of course, her clan and father would throw a fit if she became a medical ninja, as that role was beneath the status of the Hyuga, but she was already considered a failure, and, therefore, had nothing to lose. And so she watched attentively when Kakashi demonstrated. I learned a very basic technique of the healing palm jutsu when I was out on the battlefield, Kakashi clarified, opting to leave the part about using his Sharingan to learn said jutsu out. It can only heal simple external cuts and bruises, but it should be a good base to start on. Hinata looked in awe, as Kakashi's hand started glowing green. It was so unlike the other jutsu she had learned and saw. Those were full of hurt and destruction. This one was calm and healing. How do you do it? Hinata asked, excited. Kakashi noted that she momentarily lost her stutter when she was excited. Well, you have to focus your chakra into small balls into the palm of your hand first. Kakashi watched Hinata carefully. But I assume that your chakra control is very good considering your fighting style being the gentle fist. Hinata nodded. She closed her eyes and concentrated. Focus. When she opened her eyes, she proudly brandished a hand that was flickering with green chakra. To her dismay, it immediately faded. She looked at Kakashi worriedly. It's okay, it's okay. Kakashi gently comforted her. He already knew he had to take a more gentle approach with her than Naruto or Sasuke. While those two would bound back harder than before with criticism, Hinata would just retreat further back into her shell. You can try again. He knelt down to her level and made direct eye contact. Just remember, you are my student, and I will be proud of whatever achievements you make. Hinata looked at him, silent. Did he really mean it? That he was proud of her? Her lower lip started to wobble. No one had ever. She burst into tears and buried her face into Kakashi's flak jacket. Shish, it's okay. Kakashi gently patted her back as if handling a small child. When was the last time someone told her that she was fine the way she was? He wondered bitterly. To have such a big reaction to such simple words. After a few moments, Hinata pulled away and rubbed at her eyes. "Okay, I'm ready now." Kakashi smiled. "All right then, let's try again." Dash 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 dash. Sasuke eyed Kakashi, or at least a clone that was made by Kakashi. Very different things. Where to start, Kakashi muttered to himself. Oh yeah, same thing with Hinata, chakra nature. He gave Sasuke a slip of the chakra paper and explained how to use it. Just inject some chakra into it, and you'll get results. He finished off. Sasuke took the piece of paper and held it between two fingers. The paper crinkled then burned into ashes. Sasuke stared, a little bit bemused. What's wrong? Kakashi asked. I expected the fire chakra nature. That's an Uchiha clan trait, after all, but lightning. Sasuke stared at the small sheet of paper. Kakashi tilted his head. It's just one other chakra nature. Besides, lightning is connected to fire in some ways. And I myself have a lightning chakra nature, so I can help you with a lot of jutsu. But that's for later. Sasuke shrugged. He'd decide who cheated who later. What are we doing right now? Well, Sasuke, Kakashi brought out a scroll and unsealed two wooden practice swords. Let me teach you the beautiful art of Kenjutsu. Dash 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 dash. So you mean I have wind chakra nature? Naruto looked at the cleanly cut chakra paper. Nice. Yep. Kakashi nodded. Quite a rare chakra nature to have as well. He pondered for a minute. I'm sure Asuma will have some jutsu that we can work with. He then turned back to Naruto with a more serious tone. Naruto, I am aware that you are aware of what you're hosting inside of you, correct? Naruto nodded. He would never forget that bitter night when Mizuki revealed he was the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. But are you aware that it provides you huge chakra reserves and stamina? Naruto thought for a minute. I think I had my guesses, but not really. What's your point? My point is that I have a type of training only you can do, Naruto, a type of training that includes the use of shadow clones. Kakashi continued to clarify what he meant. When dispelled, shadow clones send the user of the jutsu all their memories, of all the things they learned. A jutsu that is usually learned in a week can be learned in half of that time with one other shadow clone, a third of that time with two other shadow clones, and then on and on. Naruto caught on. Oh, so if I make 100 shadow clones? Kakashi nodded. And only you can do this type of training because out of all of Team 7, you're the only one with the chakra reserves that can keep the shadow clones going. Naruto bobbed his head eagerly. Okay. He crossed his fingers in the ram hand seal. Shadow clone jutsu. Multiple copies of Naruto popped up everywhere. What are we going to do? Naruto inquired to Kakashi. Kakashi's eye gleamed. Why? Since your academy skills need honing, Naruto, we're going to work on taijutsu. Dash 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 dash. At the end of the day, all three genin were worn out. Good work, Kakashi praised. Take tomorrow off. We start our missions on the day after. All three of them nodded, and set off, shoulder to shoulder. Ramen? Naruto asked tentatively. No, please, no. Oh, come on, Sasuke. How about we go to a bakery? Hinata suggested. They make the best cinnamon rolls. Sasuke wrinkled his nose. I don't like sweets. Hinata stared at him. What did he just say? How could one not like sweets? For the rest of the walk, all three of them were arguing. Well, Hinata was trying to play mediator while holding her shock, Sasuke doesn't like sweets, over where they wanted to eat. At the end, they somehow managed to come to the conclusion of eating at Ichiraku's, much to Naruto's glee. Ramen. He jumped up and down in excitement. Never again, Sasuke muttered darkly. A dark shadow leapt through the forest, glowing eyes shining through the darkness. Target has moved. Kakashi's voice rang through the wireless radio. Over there, Naruto whispered. Hinata and Sasuke were hiding on his left and right respectively. What's your distance from the target? Kakashi hissed, the radio glitching his words. Naruto looked at his teammates for confirmation. They both nodded. We're ready, just give the signal. Kakashi remained still for a moment, and then his eyes widened. Now, all three of them leapt towards the unaware cat, and poor Naruto was unfortunate enough to be the one who grabbed her. I got it, ow, ow. The cat wriggled around in his arms, scratching at whatever it could. Stop that, Naruto, give it to me. Hinata gently extracted the cat from his arms. Now, she cooed at the cat, you're fine. The cat curled up in Hinata's arms and purred at her. Naruto groaned. Why does it only like Hinata? Sasuke sniffed. I bet it likes me too. He reached over to pet the cat only to be rejected with a hiss and a swipe. Or maybe not. Naruto laughed at Sasuke's expense. Now who's the idiot? Sasuke glared and prepared to retort. Please, stop fighting, Hinata scolded both of them. We have a mission. Both boys looked at her sheepishly and nodded. Lost pet. Tora, acquired. Mission accomplished, Kakashi stated into the mic. Well, it better be accomplished. Naruto yelled through his radio, causing screeching feedback to ring through everybody's ears. Let me tell you this, I hate cats. Kakashi recoiled from the force of Naruto's voice. Okay. He held his hands up in defeat. Let's go back to the Hokage's tower. They all did so gladly. Dash 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 dash. Oh, my poor little Tora. Mommy was so worried about you. The rich lady, who was on the chubby side, simpered, practically squeezing the cat to death. Poor thing. Hinata was sympathetic. No wonder she ran away. Naruto and Sasuke, both having faced the more aggressive side of the cat, had much darker thoughts than Hinata, which more or less was along the lines of, she deserves it. Mission report, Lord Hokage. Kakashi explained how the cat hunt went down, bored. Ah, well that's good. The Hokage flipped through more files. Let's see, there is another civilian that needs his fence to be painted. Ah, Naruto protested. All our missions are so boring. We've been herding dogs, chasing cats, and painting fences for the past 2 weeks. Give us some real missions. Although Sasuke would rather apologize to the killer of his clan than openly agree with Naruto, he did think that he had a point. These missions were getting tasteless. Hinata was more worried about Naruto's attitude towards the Hokage, but she thought a change would be nice as well. Kakashi sighed. I knew this was going to happen. After all, Naruto was not known for his patience, and he was bound to get frustrated about the easy missions they were going through so far. Iruka immediately got up and slammed his hands on his desk. You're just a brand new genin with no real experience. You need these missions to hone your skills and improve yourself. Are you serious? Naruto whined back. Painting fences and babysitting does not count as missions, they're just stupid ga. He was interrupted by Kakashi's fist pounding into his head and knocking him down. Will you put a lid on it? Kakashi asked, annoyed. The third Hokage sighed. Naruto, you need to understand, hundreds of requests come to the missions every day, ranging from simple babysitting to assassinations. These requests are sorted by ability, and your ability is sorted by rank. Hokage is at the top, Jonin, Chunin, and Genin at the bottom in that order. At the highest mission level, we have A ranks, usually reserved for experienced Jonin, after that B ranks, which are for fresh Jonin and experienced Chunin, and then C rank, which are for Chunin and experienced Genin, and lastly, D rank, which are for Genin fresh out of the academy. These missions fund our village and our work. Since you are all untried genin just starting down the shinobi path, you are given D-level assignments. Naruto, are you even listening? So I had tonkatsu ramen yesterday, and I'm thinking I'll have miso ramen today da. You're always lecturing me like you're my grandfather or something. Naruto complained from his seated position on the floor where he was telling Hinata and Sasuke his ramen story. But I'm not the little brat who used to play pranks all the time, I'm a ninja now, and I want a ninja mission. The room was silent after Naruto made his decision. Iruka smiled faintly. The silence was broken by the Hokage's chuckles. Hee, Naruto wants us to know he's not a brat anymore. The Hokage smiled through his pipe. He's a former brat who wants a mission. Naruto pouted from his place on the floor, cheeks puffed in a way that Hinata personally thought was adorable. So be it, then, the Hokage came to a decision. I'll give you a C-rank mission. You'll be bodyguards on a journey. Naruto immediately perked up. Ooh, really? Who are we guarding? A princess? Or some big, important lord? The Hokage nodded towards the door, which slid open, revealing an old man who was holding a bottle of sake that was probably not his first. What the? The man eyed the children in front of him. A bunch of little snot-nosed brats. He took a chug from his drink. And you, the little one with the idiotic look on his face, do you really expect me to believe that you're a ninja? Naruto laughed. Who's the little one with the idiotic look on his face? His voice faded off when we compared his height with Hinata and Sasuke's. Hinata never realized until now that she was slightly taller than Naruto. Naruto immediately charged towards their client, only held back by Kakashi. Let go of me, I'll end him. Naruto, Kakashi chided, your mission is to keep your client alive, not to kill him on the spot. Tazuna took another drink from his bottle of sake. Well, you're handling the master bridge builder Tazuna. Kakashi nodded. We'll meet you outside, and then he promptly set off, dragging a kicking Naruto with him. Sasuke went after them both with a HN. Hinata bowed to Tazuna apologetically before running off to her teammates. Dash 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 dash. They met right at the main gate of the village. Naruto stretched out his arms and yelled out, "Yeah. All right. What's so exciting, Naruto?" Hinata inquired softly. "This is the first time I left the village," Naruto cheerfully explained. "I'm a traveler now, believe it." Hinata smiled at his antics. "Am I supposed to trust my life with this runt?" Tazuna grumbled. "He's a joke. It's okay," Kakashi reassured Tazuna. "He's with me and I'm a Jonin. Hey, you're just a stinky, old man, and I'm going to be one of the greatest ninjas ever." Naruto pointed at Tazuna and grinned. "And someday I'm going to be Hokage, and you're going to look up to me. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, remember it." Hokages are powerful and smart. Tazuna took another drink. "You are puny and brainless. The day you become Hokage, I'll sprout wings and fly." "Ah. Shut up," Naruto yelled. "I'll do anything to become Hokage, no matter what it takes." "Well, you should know." Tazuna glared crossly at Naruto. "To me you'll always be nobody." "Da." Naruto charged forwards, again, only to be, once again, restrained by Kakashi. "I'm going to get you now. Naruto, you're supposed to protect the client, not end him," Kakashi chided him tonelessly. Tazuna set off. But there was a problem. Yes, little did Team 7 know, they were being watched. Dash 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 dash. Hinata walked, trying to start a conversation with Tazuna about his home, the land of waves, and then gave up trying to do so when she was only answered with grunts. As they were walking, she noticed a puddle on the ground. Strange, she thought, it hasn't rained in days. She glanced at Kakashi, who discreetly pointed at his eye. Ah, she quickly activated her Byakugan. There are two birds, she noted calmly. Both look like they're ready to sing. Naruto and Sasuke shared a look. In the past 2 weeks they hadn't just been doing simple missions, no, they had been training their butts off whenever time permitted. They had learned new jutsu, different styles of fighting, and honed their basic skills in Naruto's case. They were about to go on chakra control, but this mission came up. They hadn't just practiced their fighting skills though, they also learned different code words to say to each other on missions. The bird one was the most common for enemy. The two boys stood at the ready. They've started. Hinata jumped in front of Tazuna, sliding into the gentle fist position gracefully. Chains whipped out of the bushes, wrapping themselves around Kakashi and ripping him to shreds. "One down," a masked man said through the snorkel-like device on the front of his face. He barely had a second to react before 5 Narutos kicked him to Sasuke. He only managed to nick him a little bit on the hand with the claw-like device on his hand before he was knocked to the ground. The other man was running towards Hinata, thinking that she would be the easiest. He sliced his claw at her, only to have her duck and land a palm on his shoulder. The man smirked at the soft touch, throwing it off to inexperience. He froze when he realized that shoulder was now unusable. Gentle fist. He was blown back by the gentle fist again along with his friend. Sasuke swept up the chains they used and tied them using those, finishing off smoothly by landing on both of their large claw contraptions, successfully tying them to a nearby tree. "Show off," Naruto muttered when he saw Sasuke's dramatic finish. Sasuke rolled his eyes. "What about the other guy?" Tazuna looked around worriedly for Kakashi. He just died. Are you not sad? Hinata smiled gently and tapped her Byakugan. Don't worry, Mr. Tazuna. He's over there. She pointed. Speaking of the devil, Kakashi stepped out from where he was observing the fight and applauded them all. Good job, Hinata, Naruto, Sasuke. Great reaction. You captured the demon brothers from the hidden mist on your first C rank. He glanced at Naruto's hand. But we should go back and get your hand fixed, Naruto. What? Naruto complained. It's just a tiny cut. Yes, but it's poisoned. Kakashi explained calmly while tying the demon brothers more securely to the tree. Naruto growled, and then stabbed his kunai into his hand, to get rid of the poison, and held up the bleeding fist. Hinata's eyes widened in worry. I promise that I will never run away. That is my way. Hinata smiled. Naruto is so brave. Kakashi sighed. Fine, fine, he resigned. But really, let's wrap the cut up before you bleed to death. Wah! Naruto frantically jumped around, shaking his hand, as if that could heal it. Ah, here. Hinata took out her ointment. Take this. It's a disinfectant. Kakashi took it and rubbed it over Naruto's palm. It immediately started to heal. The Nine Tails chakra, he realized. Wow, Hinata, your ointment works very well. Did you make modifications to it? Kakashi praised. Hinata's ointment was very efficient, even though it was mostly the Nine Tails doing the healing, so it made for a very good cover-up. I did. Hinata frowned. But it doesn't work that well. Don't sell yourself short, Hinata, Kakashi reprimanded. He then turned his attention to the two tied-up mist ninja. Now it's time to interrogate our favorite siblings. And you too, Tazuna. Said bridge builder gulped when Kakashi's piercing eye set on him. We need to have a chat. Why? Tazuna tried to protest. I did stay out of the fight because I wanted to see how my students would cope with a challenge, yes, but also to see who the ninja were aiming for, who their target was. Was it the ninja, my students, or was it you, our client? Kakashi narrowed his eye. Now, tell us Tazuna, what is the real idea behind this mission? Tazuna sighed. Okay, fine. It all started with a man named Gato. He's a powerful shipping magnate, but in reality, the shipping company is just a cover-up for much shadier activities, like smuggling contraband and trafficking drugs. He took control of the land of waves, shipping route, and is monopolizing it by isolating it from the rest of the world. Our land is impoverished and starving because of that while Gato basks in his riches. That's why I want to build this bridge, to free my people. With the bridge you're connected with the rest of the W world. Hinata connected 2 with 2. And that's why Gato is after you. Tazuna nodded. Our country cannot afford anything beyond AC rank. But I didn't expect children. He turned eyes to Kakashi. But you can go ahead and ditch this mission. Sure, I only have a poor grandson who will cry his heart out when he finds out his grandpa died, and a daughter that will hate the leaf for the rest of her life. Calm down. Kakashi rolled his eyes. You already heard Naruto, we're not ditching this mission. Tazuna relaxed. Well, good. Kakashi pinched the bridge of his nose. Just, next time, please be more straightforward about this. Start with, I have a powerful and corrupt businessman after me, next time. Tazuna nodded rather guiltily. Hinata took in this new news. This was quite the turn of events. Will I be able to do this? She was worried. Yes. And if I don't think that way I'll never be ready. She had trained the past 2 weeks for a scenario like this, however unlikely it had seemed at that time. I can do this. Dash 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 dash. Soon, Team 7 and Tazuna had reached the harbor. They called over a boat and rowed to the land of waves. Why is this taking so long? Naruto asked bluntly. Shish. The driver of the boat hushed Naruto frantically. It's just the mist delaying us. Be quiet. Hinata shakily stood up. I can help. She activated her Byakugan and directed the driver. When they all reached land, they gratefully got off the little boat and thanked the driver who just told them to stay safe. Hinata. Kakashi looked at the young girl after walking down the path for some time. And no need to use code words. We have the information we need. Right. She nodded and turned her Byakugan on again. Her eyes widened when she saw something. 2 chakra signatures ahead, one's coming our way, and the other is staying hidden. Duck. Kakashi warned them, realizing a large object that was whirling their way. He forced Hinata to the ground and Sasuke did the same with Tazuna. The large object that turned out to be a sword lodged itself firmly into a tree right behind them. A person with a mask not unlike Kakashi's landed on the handle. Killer intent filled the clearing. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. Well, if it isn't Zabuza Momochi. Zabuza laughed. I'm honored you know my name, Copy Ninja Kakashi Hatake. He turned around to face him. You, of course, are in the bingo book. He looked over his team almost pitifully. I'll give you one chance, give up the bridge builder, and you can walk away in one piece. Kakashi shook his head. Never. He turned to Sasuke, Naruto, and Hinata, putting his hand on his headband. If he's our opponent, I'll need this. Quick, Manchi formation. Protect the bridge builder. The 3 quickly leapt around Tazuna, protecting him from all angles. Naruto looked at Kakashi, concerned. What about you, sensei? Don't tell me you're going to fight this guy alone. What about the teamwork stuff you told us? Kakashi turned to them. Zabuza is on a different level than all of you. Leave the fighting to me, and stay safe. This is a type of teamwork. Naruto wasn't satisfied with Kakashi's answer, but stayed behind anyway. Kakashi lifted his headband up, revealing a red eye. I'm ready. Hinata stared at the eye, shocked. She glanced at Sasuke. Where'd he get that? Sasuke muttered. She glanced back at that fight. Where Kakashi got his Sharingan, the legendary dojutsu of the Uchihas, could wait. Ho ho, I'm honored to see the legendary Sharingan so early in this fight. Zabuza jumped off his huge sword and wrenched it out of the tree. But it'll take more than that to stop me. He raised his arm. Ninja art. Hidden mist jutsu. Fog filled the clearing, making it impossible to see. Hinata. Kakashi commanded. Yes, sensei. Hinata activated her Byakugan. Oh ho. 2 of the legendary dojutsus in the same place, Zabuza chuckled. Maybe after I kill you, I'll sell you off for a pretty penny. He charged at Kakashi. Sensei. Duck. Hinata guided. Kakashi obliged, the sword swinging just where his head had been a second ago. On your left. Zabuza growled in frustration and charged at Hinata instead. Annoying brat. Hinata yelped and jumped up to avoid the sword, trying to keep up with Zabuza's swiftness. She aimed for his chest with a chakra-filled palm, but her speed could not match with one equivalent to a Jonin, and she was punched right in her solar plexus. Gah! She bowed over, the wind knocked out of her. Hinata. Sasuke and Naruto yelled at the same time, both forgetting that they had a client to protect when their comrade got hurt. I'm fine. She stood up on shaky feet, only to have to fall back again to avoid Zabuza's huge sword. Eat this. Naruto charged in with multiple shadow clones and aimed a kick at Zabuza's face. TCH, little rascals. Zabuza snarled. I'll take you down a notch or two. Zabuza. Kakashi charged in, taking advantage that the mist had slightly lightened up when Zabuza was attacked by Naruto and driving him away from his team. Your fight is with me. Leave the children out of this. He swiped the kunai at Zabuza, only for him to turn into a water clone. Zabuza retaliated only to find out Kakashi was, also a water clone. It's over. Kakashi stood with his kunai held to Zabuza's throat. Zabuza smirked and suddenly appeared behind Kakashi. Sorry, but I'm not that easy to fool. Kakashi ducked hastily to avoid Zabuza's sword, only to be met with a fist to his jaw, sending him into the river. Water prison jutsu. Zabuza shouted. No. Kakashi struggled before being put into a dome of water. We underestimated him. Water clone jutsu. A copy of Zabuza rose from the water. The real Zabuza stayed with one arm stuck into the water prison. Hinata, can you see where they are? Sasuke asked her urgently. Yes. She narrowed her eyes. At the river. She fumbled in her pouch for something. Take these. I'll guide you when you get there. She handed the wireless radios to Sasuke and Naruto, who quickly put them on. Go. When the two arrived, following Hinata's instructions, Kakashi pleaded with them to go. You have to run away. This guy is out of your league. Naruto snorted. Yeah, right. And what was all that training for then? He looked towards Sasuke, who nodded that he was ready. Wind style. Great breakthrough. Naruto yelled. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Sasuke breathed out a large, you guessed it, fireball that when meeting Naruto's large wind gust intensified in both size and power. It hit the clone, making it melt back into water. Zabuza's eyes widened. These kids were a force to be reckoned with. But still, no match for him. Water style. Water forge jutsu. A large swirl of water encompassed his sword, and jetted out in a blast to meet the rest of the fireball, canceling both attacks out. Sasuke took out a shuriken. Demon Wind Shuriken. He threw it at Zabuza, who caught it easily, and then jumped to dodge the one following it. Ha! You'll need more than shuriken to stop me, Zabuza smirked. Sasuke looked pointedly behind Zabuza. Too late, he realized that the shuriken had transformed into Naruto, who was now charging at him with a kunai. He jumped away from the water prison to avoid getting hit. Kakashi came out of the dome, dripping wet but otherwise unharmed. Hey, not too bad of a sensei, are you, Kakashi? Zabuza sneered at him. They tricked me into letting you go. No, Kakashi corrected. They forced you. Now to finish this. Hinata ran over, Tazuna in tow. Are you all okay? She worriedly checked over Sasuke and Naruto's scraps and bruises. Her hand glowed green, fixing what she could with her just competent medical ninjutsu. Yeah, we're okay, Hinata. Naruto reassured her. Sasuke nodded in agreement. Meanwhile, Kakashi was facing Zabuza on the lake. Water style. Water dragon jutsu. They both called out in unison. They met in the middle of the jutsu, kunai clashing with sword, then leapt away, circling each other. Zabuza raised his arm up for the hidden mist jutsu, and then started when Kakashi did the same. It's as if he knows what I'm going to do next. Kakashi finished Zabuza's thought wryly. Sweat beaded Zabuza's brow. What, is he reading my mind as well? You can't beat me with cheap tricks. Zabuza was getting worried now. You're just a monkey. Zabuza's eyes widened when he realized that Kakashi had finished the sentence along with him. He growled and flashed hand seals. When I finish with you, you'll never open that monkey mouth again. Zabuza snarled when he realized that Kakashi had finished doing the seals before he did. Water style. Giant vortex jutsu. Kakashi called out. A giant ball of water hurtled into Zabuza, forcing him under the lake's surface. Gah! Zabuza frantically thought through the events that just happened. I was going to create a vortex, but he created one first. The water swept him up to a tree. Several kunai studded themselves into his body. Kakashi landed on a branch above Zabuza. How? Zabuza croaked out, turning his head to look at Kakashi. Can you see the future? Yes, Kakashi replied coldly, holding up a kunai. This is your last battle. Ever. Suddenly, two needles flew over and embedded themselves into a point in Zabuza's neck. A boy wearing a mask appeared on a branch. I thank you. He disappeared in a whirl of wind and reappeared supporting Zabuza on his back. We've been hunting him for some time. I will dispose of his body now. Hunter Nin, Kakashi explained to his team, as he walked over, checked his pulse, and backed off. Wait, Hinata called out, Her Byakugan activated. He's not dead. Yes, maybe his pulse had stopped, but the Byakugan was not so easily tricked. She could still see the flow of his chakra. Yes, the masked nin replied, a little bit annoyed. Because I will kill him in a private area. Goodbye. He disappeared with another whirl of wind. What was that? Naruto asked, staring at the floating leaves left from the hunter nin's dramatic exit. Kakashi sighed and put his head in his hands. I don't know, but I feel like, he dropped to the ground. Sensei. All three of them cried out. Sasuke and Naruto ran forwards to support him, while Hinata did a quick check with her Byakugan. It's okay. She let out a relieved sigh. Just chakra depletion, probably from using the Sharingan. Tazuna bowed his head. You guys can stay in my house. It's the least I can do after all the trouble I caused you. Hinata smiled reassuringly and decided to reply to the offer, as out of the three remaining genin, she had the most tact. It's all right, Tazuna, but I would like to take up the house offer, please. Tazuna nodded. Of course. Right this way. Naruto heaved up Kakashi's right side with a grunt. "Hey, let's go." The four people set off, with an unconscious Jonin slung in between Sasuke and Naruto, to the seemingly very long journey to Tazuna's home.